Welcome. I'm Jordan. I'm going to run you through a recent story that broke concerning Claude AI over the weekend. Now, it's another cautionary tale about how AI, without fully grasping the privacy tools around it, can accidentally be used to lead to data exposure. Right? Now, for your benefit, I'll just explain what happened. And this little BBC article that you see behind me is one resource you can use to get the full story if you so desire. Now, what happened is that someone on Reddit found that if you use some of the advanced search tools in Google, you can actually find a lot of Claude conversations just publicly out there on the internet. Now, as of speaking, this little hole has been closed down, but the chat rooms are actually still accessible if you're able to get the links. And when using these search terms, there are some bizarre chats you can find. Like, for example, there was one chat about whether Jay-Z has ghostwriters that are birds, like as in the animal bird, right? Or there can be more serious ones. So, yeah, we've got these like weird and random ones, but then serious ones like someone asking Claude about their crypto wallet, and then Claude exposing the public keys for that crypto wallet. And for any of you out there who are familiar with cryptocurrency, you know that the exposure of these keys can lead to that wallet being stolen or used in some respect. So these conversations are a wide berth of just from the random and insane to the quite sensitive and dangerous to just have out on the internet. So how did this happen? Is Claude exposing your chats to the open internet? Well, you'll be glad to know, no, that's not what's happening, right? What's happened here is that someone or these people have shared Claude via a public link. So if you've ever used Google Docs or OneDrive to share a file, you'll know that when you share a file, you get a little box that says, do you want to share this link? And you have the option to set anyone with link. Well, what's happened is they've set the anyone with link and then they've posted that onto a website somewhere. And then Google searched that website, Google saw the link and then indexed it to its search engine. Then with some little fancy tooling, which is what this Reddit user did, you can actually find the chat just visible on the search engine. So obviously that's a bit of a difficult one. It's like it was technically shared, so it's not like Claude is actively exposing it, but it's also not great that they were visible in the first place. And it comes down to basically poor security hygiene on the part of the user who submitted the chat, right? They may have not realized what they're doing, but the result is that because of sharing the chat in this way, it led to unnecessary exposure. So, in plain English, how do you stop this? Well, if you're a business, first thing that we always tell people, you shouldn't be using free AI tools, right? You should be using paid business versions because, for example, with Claude, if you have the paid version of Claude, I believe this setting is disabled by default. You can still share chats, but you can't share them publicly, crucially. So that's the first thing. The second thing then is that if you are going to be sharing chats, we recommend that you first review what you've got in your Claude if you use it and make sure that if you are sharing anything, you either delete it or regenerate the links in case they've been accidentally exposed. So I've got a video on screen just showing what happens, right? So you've created a chat, you create a public link, and you copy it, right? Now imagine you post it on a website. Hey ho, you're now part of this little bit of data exposure that occurred over the weekend, or at least you would have been prior to it. So to fix it, you need to go into settings under privacy, check the shared chat section, and effectively delete it. Just unshare it, and if you need to share it again, do so with the full knowledge that we've just shared with you, right? And that is the best advice we can give when it comes to these kinds of incidents is you've got to have better security hygiene, train your employees, make sure there's an acceptable AI use policy, which we also have at Excellence IT if you need it. And then also get the business licenses to crucially lock down the system. And if you use it personally, we highly recommend you double check if you've shared anything and remediate it immediately in case you may have been affected by this. And it's not just Claude, other AI services have had it as well. ChatGPT had it last year. And I think at the same time as this occurred, Grok has also been affected. So it's worth double checking your AI chats essentially and making sure you haven't accidentally exposed anything sensitive.